Joining us now, trial attorney Eric Richman. Eric, great to see you. Sort of maddening to hear those statements from Vanessa there. So the driver's 18 now, but was 17 at the time of the alleged crime. Does that impact whether he's charged as an adult or not here?
So in the state of Nevada, when you're charged with homicide and you're over the age of 13, you are automatically charged as an adult. When the crime that's been alleged is homicide or attempted homicide, it is not up to the judge's discretion. There are other crimes, and there's a kind of a patchwork in Nevada based upon the crime and the age of the defendant, where a judge might have discretion, and it might be argued between a prosecutor and a defense attorney as to whether or not this person, the defendant, is going to be certified as an adult. In this case, there's nothing to argue. The judge has certified him as an adult. That's why we know his name. So right now, the legal system is going to treat him as an adult going forward, as I think it should.
And the DA says the charges include open murder. Do you mind outlining what that means specifically?
Sure. So in Nevada, the prosecutor here is going to have this tool to charge both defendants with open murder. And that's a very umbrella kind of catch-all term that allows the prosecutor to put it to the jury and say, here are the elements of each one of these individual crimes: first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and the defense attorney is going to point out manslaughter as well. That's a spectrum, and each crime has its own elements, and each crime is going to have to require the jury to apply the facts to those elements and decide what particular degree of murder these defendants are responsible for, if any. That's up to the jury. So this is an excellent tool for the prosecutor to use to say, here's the evidence, you decide, jury. Here's everything that we think you can pick from in this spectrum of all those types of crimes. The defense, on the other side, might say, well, he hasn't specified, the prosecutor, so we think it's a lesser charge, second-degree murder or something else. So they might see it as something that they can use. But I think when a jury sees this evidence, when you have videotape evidence like this that's so disturbing and upsetting, I think it really can help the prosecutor give that freedom and flexibility to a jury in this case.
Well, and to your point, Eric, that chilling video the suspect recorded, how significant is it to hear what happened in the moments before the impact, including the suspects laughing?
The video, and you don't have to be a legal expert to know this video is critical. It's going to be critical to the jury. It's going to be critical to the prosecution and to the defense, because there's no witness here that's going to describe how this accident happened. And witness testimony can be very unreliable, not necessarily lying, but unreliable. Memories fade. People are confused as to timing and stuff that happens. That's just the way people's minds work. Here you have a video, going to show it to the jury, and the video will act as direct evidence as to what happened. The video will also act as to the state of mind as to these defendants. That laughter, it's chilling, it's upsetting, it's disturbing. It shows the senselessness of this accused or alleged murder, and I think that it's going to really leave an impression on the jury. And then the third thing the video does is, from a more macro perspective, the fact that the video exists, the fact that these defendants, they were laughing as they themselves videotaped it. This isn't surveillance video. They took the video themselves. So I think the prosecutor is going to point out all three levels of how this video is going to work against these defendants, including the laughter, of course.
Certainly a case we will continue to follow. Eric Richman, thank you so much for your perspective and for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.